We are so excited to have him back. Please give it up for Jim O'Grady.
So please, pray for my immortal soul. I was raised by Irish Catholics. And this story happens on the platform of the West 4th Street subway station, right over there at 3 a.m. in New York of the 1980s.
Yes.
Yes, no. Back then I was in my 20s, and there's only one reason to be at that place at that time. It's because you've been out all night, you're trying to get home, and you're drunk. I might have been drunk. I definitely was drunk. And I'm on the platform. What I don't know is I'm waiting for the M train, and the M train doesn't run after midnight. And if you remember, this is New York at its lowest point, when this city is just full of demons and decrepitude, bankruptcy and villainy, and you're on this platform and it's dim, it's like a subterranean void, and there's brown water pouring down your eyes. And then I see, out of the gloom, at the far end of the platform, there's a woman, and she's tall, and she's golden, and she has this like radiance about her, and she is walking toward me. And now, men, you probably remember that when you're in your 20s, and you basically encounter every situation, whatever it is, you make a binary calculation. Sex or no sex. No matter, you could be at the drugstore getting gum. Am I going to have sex because of this encounter or no sex? So she's walking toward me, and that's what's happening. And at one point, it becomes clear that she is coming to me. And I just sort of enter this, I guess the mystics call it an empty state. That's what it sounds like. When I just have this feeling like, whatever you want to say to me, I am ready to hear it. And again, it's 3 in the morning, it's empty, and she walks right up to me, and she's beautiful, and she looks me in the face, and she says, "Have you accepted Jesus Christ?" And now, in the years that have passed since then, other women may have said things more disappointing to me than that. I don't know what it might be. And I swear my first reaction when she said that was to think about my Irish Catholic upbringing, which stressed over and over again that you don't raise your head above the crowd, you don't make a fuss, and you never ask an impertinent question in public. And I could just, I was picturing my great aunt from Ireland and what she would say to this question. And what she would say is, "Oh dear, thanks for asking, but it's none of your fucking business now." The problem was, it was an offensive question, according to my upbringing, but she was still very beautiful. So I had to think of something, and right then, a sort of New York 1980s moment occurred. The PA system squawked with information for all of us on the platform. They went like this. And I said to her, when it was over, I said, "Oh, you might understand what the MTA was just saying, because it sounded like they were speaking in tongues." And that's a very funny Protestant joke. Because, as you know, just by the question, you know she's Protestant, she's probably born again, and they're into the speaking tongues things. And one of the ways that Protestants define themselves is against Catholics. Protestants believe in a very simple, direct communication between God, Jesus, and the individual, and they hate the Catholic stuff with their their martyrs and their saints and their incense and their cathedral and the friggin' Pope in a dress, and they sort of exalt the minor characters in the Bible. And so she sort of like looked me up and down, and she just figured out Irish Catholic. So she said to me, you know, the Virgin Mary is not going to save you. And to this day, I think that is an excellent insult. That is so shrewd. But what, oddly enough, what she didn't realize was that at that very moment, I had beef with the Virgin Mary. And I'll tell you why. Because, as you know, the Virgin Mary likes to appear, like every 10 years, to like a peasant boy, or like a shepherd, or a serving girl, and like deliver a statement to the world. And right at that time, she had just appeared in Yugoslavia on a mountaintop. I think it was called Medjugorje, and it was all over the news. And she delivers the same stupid message every time. She says like one of two things. She says, pray for the conversion of Russia, which I never understood. It's like she's saying, please hope that the Eastern Orthodox convert to Catholicism so the Russians can be as miserable as the Irish. Or she'll give some sort of, the other thing she'll do is she'll give you like some Oprah shit about love and the family and everyone and togetherness. And it always pissed me off because, like, if the Virgin Mary is here, I want you to hear this. You have a great opportunity when you make these miraculous appearances to deliver a message to the world. And I always wanted to say something radical from the New Testament, like, it would be easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter heaven. Some sort of like socialist shit to like shake it up and wake us up. So this flashes in my, did I mention I was drunk? Like a second. And I smile, and she gets annoyed, the woman gets annoyed. And so she starts to quote scripture at length to my face. And I'm hanging in there, because you know the binary proposition. My mind wanders, and I have like a flash of an image. And over the years, just this quick flash in my mind has become like an entire vision. And what I see over the woman's shoulder on the platform in West 4th Street at 3 a.m. is the Virgin Mary standing there. And she's wearing work boots and an orange reflective vest that says the MTA. And she comes over and she finally delivers a message that all of humanity needs to hear, and I need to hear. She says, the M train is suspended. Take the F train to Delancey Street and transfer to the J, M, or Z trains. She speaks through a bullhorn and she pulls out of her cape. And so I laugh and the woman stops and I say to her, listen, you're not going to save my soul tonight. But if you're going to Brooklyn, we could split a cab. And she says, I never want to go where you're going. And that sort of decided it. So I left the station and I actually walked downtown to the Manhattan Bridge and over the bridge. And as I got to the crest, the sun was coming up over pre-bourgeois Brooklyn, which was sort of this low-slung and grim and dank. And it just occurred to me that this city is a city of sinners. But from the very beginning, the Irish and all kinds of people have been here. And the Irish and all kinds of people have built this city. So this city of sin belongs to me, and I belong to it. And these days, if I have a religion, that's what it is. Thank you.
comes the world